Everyone, thanks for waiting. It looks like we're finally ready to get started over here. A little delay on my part getting some of this stuff set up. So looks like we got Mr. Ben Halsey and Jon up here. They're both going to be shooting 8-ball, race to 10. They're going to be doing ACS rolls. Just kind of a quick rundown of how the ACS rules work. That for anybody that hasn't played it before, this is 8-ball, so of course it's stripes and solids depending on who the player is. The biggest differences here is do you have to call the shots, or just a ball in pocket. You don't have to call rails or caroms, kicks, anything like that. They 8 on the break. Does not count. 8 will spot back up, and you cannot win or lose with scratching on 8-ball if the 8-ball does not go in. Now, if the 8-ball goes in and scratches, you can lose the game that way. But if the 8-ball does not go in and you scratch, then it's just the next player's turn. So it is ball in hand, foul anywhere on the table if you foul. If you scratch on the break, the cue ball will stay up behind the head string. With this one being 8-ball, it is a little bit shorter race. We got a race to 10, so longer than what obviously league play would be. It shouldn't. I don't believe it should take them too long to get through that one. I mean, it may still be a couple of hours worth, but hopefully you guys are here to stick with us for a while. So between the two of them, I've actually, I don't know too much about Jon's game. I've been playing with Ben on leagues for a little while now. So I'm kind of interested in seeing how this goes. Ben's definitely one that goes to some of like the various weekend tournaments and things like that. And I believe like in APA, I want to say he bounces usually in that 6 and 9-ball kind of area. Again, Jon, I'm just not sure about, so I'll learn whenever everybody else does. Looks like Ben's elected to go ahead and take that. He decided on the defense, and it looks like he got that one hidden behind it pretty well. I don't believe he's got a look at that 15 ball down there. I'll probably be kicking at this one, just a one rail kick, so shouldn't be too difficult. Makes a good hit. Then now with a pretty open table, I believe he'll go ahead and get that 7 ball out of the way. The only trouble really looks like he has is maybe that 3 ball, and that's only because the 2 ball's in the way. So I should be a little surprised if he doesn't go ahead and play that 7 and then the combo with the 3-2, but he is looking up table. It's a little further than he'd like on that one. Cut on the 6 ball and go back and forth a couple rails. He's always got that 2 ball down there for safety if he wants to just make sure he secures that 6 ball. Right, nicely done. Looks like it's going to come back across, give him that shot he wanted on that 2 ball. Or excuse me, 1 ball. Learn how to count. It's got a few different options here. Again, with where that 3 ball is sitting, that 2 is a little bit of a problem. He could go ahead and solve that right after this 1 ball. See if he elects to do that. And judging by the position, looks like what he's probably planning on doing. I believe he wanted that to go a little bit further back, because now it's just a little bit more draw as opposed to a little bit more natural play against that bottom rail. So you can just go ahead and draw it back, maybe even play that 4 ball. All right, good control on that one. May have even gotten a little bit too straight. And looks like he's looking at taking that one just a little bit forward, play that 7 ball over in the corner, and if he doesn't get really straight on that one, it's gonna be tough to leave a shot. So he either wants to leave it a little bit short or dead straight. And he does leave it a little short, so he might, as long as he pockets the ball, may not have a bad shot on this one. See if he can even look up table, and can't really tell if that 8 is blocking for it to go up to the far corner. Looks like he is back to looking at that side pocket, and if he runs this one up too far, though, the biggest concern is either making that cut really tough back on that 3 ball or just completely getting behind that 8 ball. Missed the shot a little bit there. It does go in. Actually, probably not the worst lead that he could have gotten, because he doesn't exactly leave an easy shot for Jon to come back with, but what he did leave him with is an easy opportunity for a defense. So you can actually play off that 15, come right back around to this top rail. Top rail looking from here, so anything that stays in line with where that cue ball is now, it'd be pretty good. And that's a fairly large window, and I'm kind of surprised that he's calling that side pocket, because if it does go up table, Oh, he gave it a big stroke. Okay. So he was planning on coming all the way back down table, but that's ends out pretty good. Is that A ball does definitely get in the way of this. Doesn't do himself a lot of good. Number one, with the ball in hand. Number two, now that 8 is still blocking that 3 ball. So Ben's in a little bit of trouble in this first game. Just a little bit of speed control here, and just doesn't. I mean, all he has to do is just not get behind the 3. He ran that a little far back there, but it's like he's still pretty safe. So good first game for Jon, and first one's in the books. Jon with a scratch on the break on this one, and leads Ben with ball in hand. But as I said before, it is it does have to stay back in the kitchen. I think that one drifted a little far on him, and I believe he wanted that one to stop. So he's got a little bit of work to do here, and that 10 ball may be able to go, but he's going to have to earn that one a little bit. It looks like he needs to play that one rail first. Jon making a good shot there on that 2 ball, but definitely a little bit of issues with almost every ball on the table. Looks like the 6 will go. Finding a leave after that is going to be little tough. He's got a 3 ball that's blocked by the 10, 5 that's sitting over on the railbud side pocket, 7 ball that looks blocked. So he's got some. He definitely has his work cut out for him here, but makes it a little better as he kind of puts Ben in a little bit of trouble with that 14 being blocked by the 6. Ben plays a smart shot on that one, but I believe that's pocket is still open for that 6 ball. As now Jon takes care of the first couple of issues he had with being able to sink that 1 ball into our corner. May go ahead and elect to come back now with this one, but he definitely has to put that thought into it about what's going to happen after this shot. And it's like he's digging into a little bit. It's hard to say it's going to walk up, and yeah, that was going to be tough to get that one out of there that way. So I'm guessing he's probably calling the 5 ball. A great shot, clears that up. So he's got out of the problem number 2 and potentially number 3. So this one, however, trying to make this shot, I don't know that you're going to get a lot of advantage unless you can get that really small window down there. It's possible it may have stayed, but that was going to be a tough out. So I think he actually ended up a little bit luckier with not making anything and letting Ben do some work here, but probably could have stuck it behind that 3 ball up there and just got ball in hand, been able to immediately deal with 7 ball. Ooh, been overcutting that one a bit, and it looks like he might have left that right in that window that Jon wants to see. From here, it looks like it is. And all right, and well done. Bumps off the rail, comes back out, leaves himself a relatively easy shot on that 3 ball. Alrighty, looks like we got a 8 ball in the corner down here, at least planned. Well done. Jon goes up 2-0. See Mr. Chris White and Wayne Caffrey over here speaking up, and Wayne, I believe you said that you wanted to play the winner. So let's just go ahead and assume that I won this one. You can come and play me. Still waiting to see when that match is going to happen between you and Chris. How's it going, David? All right, rack number 3 coming up. We'll see if Jon can change from that second break. It did end up with a scratch on it. Just shoot for the head ball and park it as close to the center as you can. This is a little bit to the side, which typically, especially in an 8 ball break, as well as like what we see in our in our 9 ball breaks, it's just kind of losing a little bit of power whenever it doesn't catch it quite as much in the center. And I mean, of course, I'm sure there's plenty of people out there saying, well, you can throw a little English this way, and even if you catch to the side, it still gets that kind of power into it. And although I may have a tendency to be able to agree, that's not necessarily a break for everyone. And we've got players, even like myself, like what we see here, trying to get too tricky on those breaks. It's easier just to get a nice full solid hit, either first or if it wasn't ACS rules, even the second ball break. getting that separation and seeing what you can run out from there. Mr. Michael Henry's even joined us. Pro himself. I don't know why we haven't seen you up here yet. Hope you get to join us sometime. It's been Halsey taking a nice good look around the table, and probably one of the best things that any of us, again, as amateurs, and you got pros that they know where they want to leave it. They know what the next shot is. They can leave it within a very small space, and maybe they do, maybe they don't have to walk around quite as much. But for the majority of us, a little walk around the table can tend to help. But on that one, Ben kind of jumped up a little bit and didn't really commit to the shot. Jon sinks one in the corner. Doesn't get the best roll out of it, and probably because they bumped that 5-ball on the way back up. So he's going to have a little bit of a stretch, and probably wouldn't have minded leaving that 5-ball in for one more shot, but we can go ahead and take that one, come back out, got a 3-ball just sitting there, just waiting to be pocketed. So it doesn't have to do too much. A little unlucky is he must have caught that one pretty close to the center as it bounces right back out for that 15-ball. David, I see you're willing to play both Wayne or Chris. I think it's funny you're beating up on your doubles partner over there. I'll stream the match regardless. I'm not picky. But I can probably guess right now that if you if you wanted to set up a match with Wayne, he'll give you any match that you want on 8 or 9 ball. But he's also going to want you to play one pocket. Tell me I'm wrong, Wayne. I've been getting a little bit of ball movement, but he's gonna need to come with a little bit of a shot here and kind of be careful on where this one travels to. If it does leave him a combo, I don't know if he'll play that combo or if he'll just go ahead and play the cut in the bottom corner. See if we can find a better angle here. So the bottom corner actually doesn't look too bad. That might open that up to go to give him a much easier run out. Let's see if he elects to shoot the one he's pointing at now. Undercuts it just a hair. Would have been sitting pretty good from that spot. But now Jon comes back to the table, gets ready to recover from his last one. A nice shot there to get back up on that 5-ball. So now it's just figuring out what he wants to do. Probably wanted to leave a little bit more of an angle, but leaving an easy shot's not a terrible idea either. So we'll see if he decides to go ahead and play that bank on that 2. And a little tough to tell if that 11 ball is in the way. It may be in that track of the bank. Misses that one far on the inside of that cut. So Ben back the table with another opportunity to make sure it doesn't go up by 3 games. I think he's actually looking a good direction there. Just go ahead and follow that one up, but he's putting some draw on that one. Gonna go ahead and take that duck over in the side. Also a good idea. All right. That one once again, doesn't really have to do anything too special. I believe he's got a good angle to be able to just put a little bit of draw if it doesn't go completely sideways, or even follow it up and just go ahead and take the bump on the 8. So he forgets to make the shot first. Now Jon coming back to the table with a pretty tough one up here.
Okay.
Much easier shot for Ben coming up on this one, and naturally you just have to watch the speed a little bit and actually even run it all the way back down table to that pocket that towards that pocket that he's standing at now with the cue ball. Still be able to have a shot and play defense if he's not comfortable with some part of this. I would hope he'd be okay with just making that shot, and runs it a little far. Kind of sticks himself close to that 50-yard line. I actually like the direction he's taken there, and the main reason is even whether it's banking it or cutting it, just making sure that cue ball stays up at what's our top side looking from here. That it makes even if he missed, still makes it a little tough for Jon. Just sinks that one right in the middle of the pocket. Moves the chains to 2-1, still on Jon's side, but only by a game. So for those people that's watching, and maybe there's somebody out there, because we were actually talking about earlier, when it comes to Fargo ratings, how do you have a Fargo rate with a robustness of 0? So I thought that was calculated based on the like the games that you played, different things like that. So if it's a 0, and I thought that meant that you haven't played. But how would you have a rating on that? Maybe somebody out there that's watching can help me answer that question, because that's a new one to me. And so Ben comes up for rack number 4 and the break. Decides to go ahead with a second ball break on this one. Now, I know some people were comfortable with a second ball break getting a little bit of a spread. This one did leave a little bit of a cluster up there. I've always used, the few times that I use the second ball break is obviously to try to make the 8 ball. In this particular matchup, making the 8 doesn't make a difference. And I know that I also have had a tendency to hit that second ball break a little on the firm side, which means all the balls tend to drift to one side. Now, if I'm playing a run-out player that maybe doesn't get a good position play, maybe we leave them a little bit more cluttered up. as opposed to someone that you feel that you can get at the table, you're having a good day, and can do a little bit more runouts. Then you can go ahead and spread the table open and see what you can do from there. So hard to say that even with this particular break that I'm a big fan of that second ball break. But I'm sure that Jon doesn't mind because all of his is splitting out pretty nicely. So it looks like that. Let's see. Does miss that 9 ball though, and now Ben's aren't looking too terrible. We'll see if that 3-6 is an issue. It does look like that 3 ball will go. So other than that 4 that's sitting there, now his are open. Like the right shot on that 7 ball, undercuts it a little bit, so of course it slows it down. A little bit lighter on that 7, I think it would have actually come back up with a good shot on that 5 ball, but nevertheless, ends up where he ends up. Now a little bit of a tough position shot for Jon here, so he does have a little bit of trouble. So he may want to think about option B on this one. It looks like he called for combo, so let's see if he goes ahead and runs this one up table. That was a tough shot. Now leaves an open shot for Ben with that 1 on the side. We'll see if he decides to leave that 7 ball to get out. So the only real trouble that he has still back to that 4 ball has been sitting in that spot for a little bit now, and he's definitely going to need to do something about that one sooner than later. Let's see if we look from the side. He does have an angle on that 1, potentially, to be able to get a shot on that 4 for the side, but it's not going to be easy. He actually could probably be better off even getting on that 5 from here, playing that 4 on top, and that's what he elected to do, and it's a great shot. So small window, just needs to go ahead and roll this one in. Looks pretty straight, so I don't know if it, and he may have the room to go ahead and run that around 2 rails. And still even has to be careful from there, because he's going to have a tendency to want to put top English just because it's sitting a little closer to the rail, and he doesn't want that one running too far. So he does leave it in that window. It's a good shot for him on that one. Again, a little bit of an issue because making this one, he's got to watch that speed. Seems like a big window until he's trimming off the edge of that. And Doesn't want that to go and float up too far. Is he going to play him solo versus Scotch Devils? And unfortunately, it does come up a little on the high side, so now he's got a bit of an issue locked, and it's such a far, even attempt for a jump there, so he's got his work cut out for him on this one. As now that table is about as open as it gets. And this is one of those bad things whenever it comes to 8-ball. Is it's great to be able to run a whole lot of balls, but when you do and you don't get out, here's the situation. Ben takes a nice long look at this one, and this is kind of a pretty critical shot for him on, obviously on this rack. He misses this one. It's definitely giving Jon a pretty good chance to be able to get out. And he makes a successful kick. Does a good job with leaving it by a pocket, so he definitely gets his share of credit there. But as you can see, he's left that first open shot for Jon to come back to the table. So that's not what he wanted to do. So he's definitely made it a little tougher on himself getting this run out. And again, the one thing that Ben did right on that last shot was getting that close to a pocket. So definitely makes defenses much more difficult here. So, but the miss on that shot should have left Ben the game on this one. And Izzy, did you call for a jump shot on that previous one? You must have sold him a jump cue. Not all of us have those magical ones that you sell. And wanted that to come up a little bit more, but still left an open shot for that 8-ball. Like down in this bottom right corners. So head down, smooth stroke, stay down on it. Should be tied up 2-2. All right, he uses the entire pocket, but that's okay. What it's there for. Didn't know that was going to be a 3-rail bank, but it goes in nonetheless.
Get fired, you know. No, get fired. I mean, you can, you see on and doing that shit, but, you know, I mean, you got a stroke like a damn arrow, boy, straight arrow, boy. And sometimes I do that, but sometimes I pay for it.
Gotta be really warmed up.
Yeah, right. Alan's milk, please. think you don't do it because
Leave the camera from the backside on this one. It looks like he's moved that cue ball in a little bit, so he might be staying away from that second ball break. If he does go into that head ball and plants that towards the middle.
I'll have
wait some.
Comes up around that break and pretty open table. Not too much trouble in there. Depending on whether or not he picks solids or stripes on this one. And we see a 3 and 14 that's tied up, but
use a spread, right?
Yeah.
he looks like he's looking at that 10 ball. Decides to shoot the combo. Sneaking a ball in the corner. It almost looked like he actually had planned on that one not going in. But unless you're calling it a defense before the shot, you do continue to keep playing it whenever it's one that looks like it would obviously go in like that. Either that or he just came up a little too far. Just a little discouraging look on his face after that one went in. Should still be sitting okay, and gets a nice hit on that 7 ball to bounce it back out as well. A little inside English, that way it doesn't come over too far on that 7 ball, and he should still be able to get on that 4, but he does have an 8 ball that he has to make sure to look for as well. Very nicely done. See what kind of angles he's got. So now, time to make sure that he looks at, obviously time to make sure he looks at that 8 ball. It's going to be a little bit troublesome. You probably want that to come up a hair higher so he can get below it. So he can still stay above it. It does have a path to be able to bank into that bottom corner. If he gets stuck behind that 10 ball.
Damn.
And if you got above it though, it definitely looks like coming off that, whether it went straight in or came off the bottom rail. With that 15 sitting down there, would have had a pretty good size opening, but that luxury's not there with the position he has right at the moment. Then taking a look at the mirror method for a 1 rail kick on this one. It's going to be a bit of a stretch coming from that long rail. Shoot it down with that one, but just to be able to make a hit, it's probably not a bad direction to go. He's at least coming down to the short rail at the bottom. He does have a full ball to hit. Actually, even further than that. So he may end up with a bridge and an extension on this one.
That's
And just as it looks like John's turning up a notch, going for a good run out, it's that one critical mistake. It's been up in that top corner.
I knew I was either going to be under or over it. Of course.
Been changing sides on the brake, see if he can get a little bit more impact on this one. Try to drive that through a little bit harder and make a ball on the brake on this one. He does. Well, it does make it back to the center line of the table. Quite the middle.
Good to see you.
Couple of problems up here, but see how he decides to handle those. Brandon, the new cloth on the 9-foot, it's actually funny you mentioned that because it's been doing great. But it is time to replace it again. You may see a few little white spots here and there, and we try to keep it as fresh as it can be. So sitting on the 7-foot table over to the side, there's actually a brand new piece of HR cloth that I will probably be putting on Monday. It does need 24 hours to kind of set up, so through the weekend, it's a little tough. And if you're talking to Michael Henry, then that had absolutely no point. Mr. Halsey making a nice shot in the corner there, still leaving himself open. Gets that one broken out over there. Let's see if it's got a lot of the pocket. I don't know if it has enough to actually make it up into that corner. So that one may still be an issue. How's it going, Adam? And Brandon, thank you very much for the stars. You know how much we appreciate that.
Yeah.
Nice shot by John on that one, running at 14 down that rail. He's got pretty much just one more issue. It's down there at the bottom with, I believe that's 2 and something. Guess I could change angles and find out. 2 and 13. Or excuse me, 10 and 13. Guess you need to look at the stripes, not just the color. Another good shot by Ben on that one. So pretty close hit on that one. Iron ball does make it in. Judging by the way the cue ball rolled, it does look like that was a good hit, but definitely a close one. It's Brandon back to the table with a 5 ball on the side and the ability to be able to get position. Nicely done on that one as he uses that ball in the corner to not only hold the cue ball up, but also give an open path for that 8 ball. Thanks again, Brandon. See more stars coming across. This is a little tougher because he probably got a little bit straighter on that 4 ball than what he would like to have. I don't know that I'd want to do too much with this one. If I can get on the far side and not get behind the 10 ball, that's great. Could just draw it back a hair. And I mean, maybe a ball's width or even a stop shot. Go ahead and take the tougher shot on that 3 ball, which will line him up on that 8. Definitely a cut option there. You're probably looking to see if that goes all the way up table, and looks pretty thin. If it can, that will probably be a little bit better. I believe it'd even be an easier shot if he cuts that one. Now he's kind of using that stick for the tangent line, but it would definitely follow well above that side pocket. So if he could make that in the side, that'll hit about 3 diamonds up from where we're looking now and probably come around really nicely. If he does decide to go ahead and shoot that one up, does a great job. Shouldn't have any issues from here. Ben goes up 4-2. That's 4 straight games for him, so getting on a bit of a roll here. Been going back to that side that worked for him last time, being able to both break it out and get a reasonably open table. It's a little extra draw on that one, so it got kicked around as opposed to just kind of sitting still in the middle. It does open the table up, but it doesn't look like he was able to pocket one. Mr. Will has joined the land of the living over here. I used to know a guy named Will, Alicia. We don't hear much from him anymore. Glad you could join us, Will. Hey, John doing a decent job over here getting that cue ball around. So still nice. Now it looks like he can make that 5 ball, leave him a shot on that 7 back to the side. Has to go up a little bit. See if he plays that 2 up in the top corner. So it got a little tougher on this part, and it looks like that 7's gonna have to be saved for whenever everything's coming back down.
About 2.
Actually could even play a little bit of a defense and just leave that 2 ball up at the top rail. Big shot's tough. Instead he goes for a tough shot, but that cue ball ends up there anyway. So leaving some tough options for Ben over here. Thank you, Will. I appreciate it. Hopefully we'll be able to make it back over here in town and see some of the recent changes. We've got a few of them, including a new addition to the building, obviously, which is where we're sitting over here, and expanded on the great work that you did helping us with getting some of this electrical started in this place. I don't think that's going to touch a rail. Going to end up being ball in hand for John coming back to the table.
Yeah.
Straight.
John taking a nice shot with that one from the side, leaving himself an easy shot on the 4 ball. A little drawback, and he should be on that 2 with no trouble. Just like that. Back in the driver's seat for this game. But now he's seen the 8 ball. So that one's going to be a little more difficult. Now he's pretty straight. He could put a bigger draw on that one and go ahead and come on back. Does look like he's cueing pretty low, but well done shot. Beats himself a pretty simple 8 ball in his side pocket. That's pretty good control on John's part.
Close back. That's up.
Ben and John still keeping this one nice and close. 4-3. One game separates the two of them. John's hoping to tie this back up, moving into rack number 8. All right, nice open break from John on that one. Looks like he has left himself option for whichever he chooses, solid or stripe. And as we look around the table, looks like the stripes might be a slightly better option. Namely, just because of the 3 and 6 that's down here. Got a little bit of blocking going on. See if he chooses to go ahead and play that 14, and it's like he's looking down table. All right, nicely done. Wants to be a little careful, make sure that he doesn't get any of those in trouble since they are spread out as much as they are.
Left.
A little bit jacked up over that one ball, and just have to look around. But right now is I believe that is the time to go ahead and try to get that 11 ball. If you're not confident on making it, maybe best just to leave it where it is. It's having a little bit of angle and getting himself into a little bit of a mess down here now with the 10 and 14. Ben's ball starting to open up slightly. He just has to make sure he gets on the right side of that 6 and 3 ball, preferably on a 3. He can. He's done a great job of getting down there and does have a shot on that 3 ball. Looks like he's queuing up on the 6. Decides to play defense. We're not a bad shot there either. Leaves a nice and long shot for Ben, but the one thing that happened that was kind of bad is where that 9 ball is sitting right by that side pocket. That's probably about the worst place that a ball can land. So he's gonna have to make sure that he looks down for that one because it's not sitting on the point, which would probably be the worst, but it is sitting awfully close to it. So I have to watch some of the angles. Ben makes a nice confident shot on that. Gets himself back on the other side of that 7 ball. Looks like he's looking at a side pocket shot. And unless there's a little bit of an angle, and he's going to have to stroke that one pretty hard. And one thing about, not just this one thing about diamond tables in general is you're gonna stroke it a little bit more firm. You better find the middle of the pocket. So John coming back to the table, but he's got a little bit of challenges. That 11 ball does come out, which is great. But he's got bigger problems down here with the 10 and 14.
Alright.
15 on a bank, and worked out well with getting that 9 ball off of that rail and leaving it up table. Kind of been a slight amount of luck involved on how that ended up. So luckily for Ben, that 1 ball typically is a very difficult cut. with that 11 ball sitting where it is, it's kind of making a little bit of a funnel. So he may like to go ahead and try to shoot that one in. Does. Gets that 5 ball knocked out of the way. Table just opened up a little bit more for him. You can almost see it in Ben's face as he was looking more at the 3 ball than he was at the 7 whenever he took that one shot. And not casting stones because I do it all the time myself. Jon comes back to the table and it looks like he's planning a combo on this shot. Very successful on that one. Also leaves a 9 ball right by that corner pocket, which is a great job. So he's definitely looking a little better here as 15 has a pocket and could even force follow that one up there to that 10 and 14 that he knows is an issue. Makes a hit on it, just doesn't get the reward that I believe he should have. And leaves it in front of the pocket, but with that 5 ball sitting down where it is, Ben's got a reasonably easy run out. It sure looks like he's got just enough angle to hit that 5 and drift down for that 3 ball. Once again, using that opponent ball in the corner to help him out. But this time gets a little luckier because it is not straight in on that 3 ball in the corner. You can get that one to come up a little. Rolls that one in nicely and leaves himself a couple of options once again. I could see him go ahead and take this one up in this bottom corner. Ben making a nice attempt there. Fortunately, that one doesn't go in, and that little pre-work that Jon did a short period of time ago may have just paid off. Because now he's got his trouble taken out. It's a little bump to that 10 ball. Although it's cuttable, he could actually go either direction on this one. He felt confident about that tougher cut, and now the only thing left is just making the 9 and getting in position. Shoot the far shot of that one, let it drift back out. It ball should fall nicely in that side pocket. Well done. And a tie ball game at 4-4 between Ben and Jon.
Five games.
Been doing some good work moving around this table here. Pinball cut in the corner. Shoot that soft so it doesn't go too far out of control. If you'd like for that to have probably come up a little bit more, I still have a couple of shots, but kind of surprised he doesn't want to go ahead and look at that 13 and use that to get back over for that 15. Must be a pretty narrow gap that he's looking at on that one. It's definitely makeable. And actually with the English that he'd want to use to kind of maybe even give that a little bit of throw, make it a little bit more secure going in, probably get back over to that rail with it. Sure seems like it'd be a little bit simpler shot to go ahead and shoot this one in. Go ahead and drop in this bottom left corner if he can. Yep, right where he's pointing now. Alright, nicely done. And he gets a little further than he wanted to on that 8. Oh, didn't even see that 9 ball sitting over there. Great. Well done for Ben. That 8 ball should be going away. Alright, well done. It's Ben takes that lead back at 5-4.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see real quick, since that is the halfway point, we'll see if they want to take a quick break or they're just going to continue on. I think they just answered that question as one comes out the side door and the other goes out the other door. So we'll be back in just a moment. Alrighty, the gang is back. Sorry for that little bit of delay there. Nice to get the players a little bit of a break. It's kind of funny because I was out practicing with a good friend for a while here, and we had the radio going in the background, and um, and since it's one of the Alexa devices, it only plays for a period of time before it decides it wants to take a break. Well, apparently, about the time they started playing, it took a break, and so it's been completely quiet in that room up to this point. And so anybody that and there's I obviously see a few faces on here that's actually come and played here with us before. Will tell you that it is a very, very quiet room when there's no radio playing, because you don't really hear much of anything on the outside. With that being said, this is Jon's very first time coming out here, so we were able to break up the silence a little bit for him and get that radio back playing. I know you can't hear it on your side. We have to filter it out because the Facebook police, they even got us last night for 57 seconds of content. But I also see a few people getting tagged. Hopefully part of that is some more people can be able to watch the stream. We love it whenever people like and share our page and share our streams. Always helps us out. But on top of that, we don't always put the A-type players here. We love to see anybody come out and shoot. Love to see people that are brand new to the place, just like Mr. Jon here is. So feel free to get in touch with us. If you want to look sometime, there is a like a book now button, I think, that's on our page. It'll tell you some open times. Let's get you scheduling a match. Get out here, get on the live stream. It's definitely an experience that most people are not used to. This is not shooting in your garage. This is not shooting in a tournament. This is not shooting in league finals. There is actually a lot of pressure, because you know when you're here that this is on camera. You see all of them around, and it will most definitely tighten that game up a little bit. First time coming out, I don't know anybody that's come out and said before that everything was like they expected it to be. But it'll make you concentrate, that's for sure. So let us know if you'd like to schedule a match sometime. We'll be more than happy to accommodate. Jon doing a good job of getting through this rack. Hits that one a little hard, gets a little love from that point on the side pocket. So now, nothing more than making this one coming back across on that 8-ball can find the same side he's shooting in this corner. It's at a little soft, so he leaves himself a little bit more difficult than he wants, but that top corner is still open for him if he wants it. Or should I say wants it bad enough. Looks like he wanted it bad enough as he drilled that one right in the corner pocket. And it's a great job of doing it. Jon McQuiniff tying this one back up at 5-5, moving on to rack number 11. Making a statement that he is not going away. I'm making a pretty open break on that one. Unfortunately, again, doesn't sink a ball. Ben coming to the table. Pretty open. First shot's not a gimme. If you like solid, that 7 ball does look like it can easily find that corner pocket. If he likes stripes, there's one sitting over in that same corner waiting for it. Kind of like the solids a little bit more myself. 2 ball being the only problem child. So he does decide to go ahead and go with the stripes. Breaks open that only issue that he had up there. So Mr. Ben Halsey hopefully off and running. Nice little cut there. Comes back a little further than he probably wanted to. Still looks like he's got a couple open shots, so not too bad to overrun it whenever it's early in the game. There's a whole lot of different things you can shoot at. One advantage to whenever it comes to 8 ball, disadvantage being that your opponent can do the same thing. Nice control on that shot. I see some of the talking going now between Will and Izzy, and well, next time you make it back, I'm gonna specifically order a matchup between you and Izzy. We all know that Izzy's a world champ. He may have become that since the last time you were down, but even our pro players won't even play him anymore. Nice smooth shot from Jon on that one. Looks like he's once again got a couple of different options. Take a little look around the table. Looking at that 4 ball over on the side. And now he's got a really good opportunity at that 3 ball. Get himself down to the bottom side of that 2 and go ahead and run that one up table. Very well done on that shot. Is now opened up to a table he can run. Looks like he's going to go ahead and play that 6 and see if he slow rolls this one in, keeps that 5 ball for that corner, and lets that one go a little far, but he does have a 1 ball up in the top. Up a little short on that shot, and now leaving Ben with an opportunity here, and that 10 ball. Nice, straight for that corner pocket. Doesn't have to do too much, as he's got a 15 ball just sitting down here waiting. And that 15 ball allows him to get position in a lot of places on this table, including up table for that 11 on the side. Forgets to make the shot, and if that keeps rolling, instead leaves it right in the jaws of the pocket. Anybody who's played this game long enough knows that's no gimme from sitting back there. Jon makes a really great shot shooting that one back up table as well. But again, not an easy shot coming out of that one. So we'll see how he decides to play this one. And could either go forward 2 rails, which looks like he's queuing up for it, and I think that's the smarter shot. Lines himself up very nicely for that 8 down here in the bottom corner. Nothing fancy, just make the shot. Jon takes the lead 6-5, moving on to rack number 12. And Jon successfully pocketing a ball on that one. And again, look around a little bit for which one he likes better between the solids and stripes. And switch the angle a little bit here. And he's got an open shot on both. Whichever one he prefers more, but their stripes look just a little bit better laid out. Looks like he's looking at was it these stripes on that one? Doesn't want to push that one over, but gets himself into a little bit of trouble there. Jon taking a strong stroke on that one. Comes out pretty nicely. And shooting a 14, but things are starting to get a little bit more towards that critical mode with that 9 ball sitting where it is. It looks like he's going to try to rail first harem. It's nicely done, but the same issue he was dealing with before is unfortunately still there. On that 10 ball up in that corner where he's standing at. Looks like that's going to go. And now it's time to face that 1 ball. That 9 ball is sitting right below that 2. So do you open that one up? Looks like he's going to do it looks like he's going to play it the best way, and that's just maybe bumping into it. As he hits that 2 ball and knocks it out for Ben. So Ben comes up to the table with the very open table. It's up to him to just connect the dots now. It's a little tough to say, but sure looks like that 4 ball may be the one I'd want to start with. just because there's so much opportunity there. Run around the outside of the table until that 2-ball in the corner sets you up for that 8. Ben's chosen a little bit different path on this one. Looks like he's going to be working back down table, drift this one forward a little bit and get himself on that 2-ball. Doing a good job of not having too much trouble here as he's going for the 7-ball with a little bit of inside and get himself on that 6. And now got himself in trouble. Combos there. I don't know if I'd want to play this one. I think it's just I think it's a little bit too easy just to play a little bit of a defense. It doesn't even have to really get behind anything. Just put on that far rail, and if the opponent makes a shot, then sometimes you just accept it. He's decided to play a jump shot over his own ball. Ends up coming out okay, because he does leave something along that kind of line a little closer. Slightly easier to make that bang shot. As Jon's calling the right pocket there, and it shouldn't be too difficult to hold that ball towards the back so he can leave himself on the 8. Hits that one pretty strong. It does make its way in, so now Ben's got a decision. He can either run it out, play defense. He makes a nice shot on that 6-ball, and looks like the defense actually worked. Not too much to do on this one as well. He can actually just go a couple rails, put it over on the other side, and shoot that 8-ball for the side pocket. Comes up a little short on that one, so top corner it is. Or bottom right from where we're looking at it now. Stepping aside, dry those hands off a little bit, and taking this shot pretty serious. I like that he's taking his time to line this one up real good. Deep breath, head down, straight stroke, and don't jump up. Sends that one right through the center. Looks like that little bit extra time did him some good as he ties this one back up to 6-6. Alright, back at it, and just for a little side note, while he's breaking this one up, get a few messages in for like the instant messages on Facebook. If I'm a little slow to respond, I do apologize. We got a lot of buttons to push and a lot of levers to pull, so I'll get back to answering those as quick as I can. Obviously, whenever we're out here, like anytime, we like to make sure we give our attention to the gentlemen that are shooting, or ladies. But I promise we're not trying to ignore you. And we'll do the best that we can, as always.
I gotta hit it a little harder than that.
John trying to slow roll that one a little bit and kind of pokes at it a little bit. Unfortunately, comes up a little short as he gives ball in hand back to Mr. Ben Halsey. Good start from Ben. I see in the comments over here we have a go pudding face. We're going to need a little bit more explanation for that one because I like to pick on people. And that looks like a great place to start. And thanks for joining us. So Mr. Ben Halsey shooting up table. Looks like he's looking at that one ball. Not a terrible shot there, but really the one he needs to look at or focus on the most after this shot is that 7 ball. And it comes out a little on the heavy side. Alright, nicely done by Ben, still leaving himself a few options. And it looks like he's looking at the right one here with that 7 ball. May not like that angle, but I think that's the right shot here. Just a little below center, hold it for that 6 ball, and I think he'd be sitting pretty nicely. Comes off that rail, but still manages to find its way in. All right, got a good angle on that 6. Gives himself that 2 ball in the other side pocket. And he can make a couple of different choices whenever it comes to where he wants that 8 ball, all depending on how far he wants to run this cue ball. All right, nicely done. Plenty of options, plenty of pockets open. That side pocket's going to be the one best choice here. Kind of like the bottom corner, or excuse me, top corner from here. But that side pocket's very doable as well. Nicely done as well. Ben takes that lead back at 7-6.
All right, you gotta break this.
Take a little breather there to to get back to some of those messages we were talking about. So I apologize for the silence from time to time. Johnson and that was just a little bit on the far side, but actually did not get a bad leave out of this as he leaves Ben in a little bit of trouble. I believe Ben's best bet on this one may be to kind of look the other direction and play a defense. Realistically, if he could just play off that 10, come back up that short rail, I think he could have left John shooting all the way down table, which is where most of his balls are. Probably would have gotten a shot after that one. But now, with a missed shot, John comes back to the table with a shot inside. They both got a few of them tied up, so this neither one of them are one shot away from winning. Not on this game. John playing a nice shot on that one as he blocks basically every ball. Looks like he may have an edge down there, but again, this kind of goes back to the shot we were talking about before, where if he just wanted to play off that 10 ball, kind of going up to this direction, he can be a little bit better off, and he'd leave it a little pretty tough. Make John go ahead and earn the next shot. Wanted to hit that one a little bit harder, as John could actually still play one of his balls and get that back up table. But still, the concept of at least shooting towards that direction is still there. So I'd be surprised if we don't see John go ahead and shoot for the bank on this one. Oh, shoots it a little long, flirts around with that 8 ball a little bit. But now, at least with it going down table a hair, does leave Ben a shot on that 10 ball. It's going to be slightly out of control as it kind of goes back and forth. So we see a lot of clusters on the other end of that table. Some very small windows to be able to get on that 11, which is what he'd probably like to get out of the way. Potentially the best thing that happened there is, again, that cue ball staying up table. Now John's going to have to take a little bit more risky shot and go ahead and shoot that all the way down. And start breaking some of that clutter up, which I believe can give Ben a little bit of advantage. Moving that 6 ball is a good idea because that's big trouble that he's got. But he does not want that to just sit out in the open. Doesn't want to block the pocket. Nicely played there as he's able to take care of a little bit of that player that he's got up and send that up into different pockets. Looks like he can shoot that one right over in the side. And he can just leave. Oh, he's shooting down the table. Just a little surprised that he wants to go that direction. Because now he may have left Jon a shot to send that 6-ball up table, and that's one of two issues that he's got. Jon makes a great shot getting that one up. Even gets a little bit of a reward as well, because now he has that 4-ball in the side pocket. Follow that up a little bit. If he gets a shot on that too, he can get out on this game. Decided to try to send that one the long way up at that top corner, and maybe it wasn't quite as easy in that side pocket as it looked like from here. Maybe Ben's plan did pay off. So this table's starting to open up more and more for him. Yep, wrong. Sorry about the miss on that little camera angle on that shot, but as you can see, Ben did pocket his. So Ben can go ahead and play this one aside, run that up table and back down. He's got a whole lot of open shots down here. So again, it's back to that advantage of 8-ball where you can play for reasonably large area when you have everything kind of collected down this bottom half of the table like what he does here. So he's starting to look over at that 11-ball. Don't see why he'd want to play a combo on this one since that 11 can go in either pocket clean. I think you're taking a big chance, but does pocket both of those with a shot on the 15, but it's a little more difficult to get on that 14 over there. So the last thing you want to do is to run into the face of it. You could actually use a little little left or right, but go straight into it. It'll come straight back across, and as long as that doesn't come out too far, it's like it might have squeaked out a little further than he wanted to. I think he made that possibly a touch more difficult than he wanted. That 4-ball sitting really close to that corner pocket. It's going to want to settle in and make this one somewhere as he's looking all the way up table. Which is, although a very makeable shot up there, again, really have to watch that speed. As maybe you elect to go ahead and go 2 rails with that cue ball to come back out for that 8-ball. He's got speed. Now he got, looks like he might have just snuck past it. So he definitely has an open shot on that 8. Well, not the easiest cut in the world. He's giving himself a chance to make it.
Crazy cut shot. Okay.
Hey, man, it might help you a little bit.
I really don't have any shape preference.
I know, we started with this, so we're gonna switch it up.
And there's a little bit of control in that cue ball on display to that bottom corner pocket. And now Jon coming to the table and
Alright.
take a nice little look. And
Hey,
I don't think he's going to be able to shoot it from there, but we'll see if Ben decides to let him go. Never sit patiently. Jon should look at him and say, you know what, it's my shot. I'm going to shoot it from where I want to.
Yeah, it's alright.
Rules, no rules. Can't tie me down. But decides to go ahead and play by the rules. They did ACS set behind the head string. Nice smooth stroke and pockets that free ball down in the corner. Jon making a nice shot there to get back over on the 6 ball. Got to find a way to get back down to that 2 afterwards. And sure enough, found a way to get back down to that one. That was a great shot. Doesn't make the 6 ball. Everything else looked pretty good.
Really?
Ben not being very nice to him. Hooks from one side, but he does leave that 2 ball open, and with that 6 ball being up in that top corner, this could be Jon's game. Shooting over the top of that rack, and probably between being on the rail and being so close to that 14 makes that a little bit more difficult. And if I'm Ben, I am definitely moving that rack out of the way. We see all the time that You don't necessarily want to, just grab a ball and move it yourself. But what they typically do is just have the opponent, like, one of them just ever so slightly lift the ball, and somebody move the rack out from under it. Everybody's happy with doing that. So there's always a way to be able to get that one out of the way. And Ben's in one of those positions at the moment where I believe he's going to have to shoot his way out. That 6 is going to be a little tough to hide from, even more so with that 2 ball being all the way down here close to another pocket. So he's gonna need to make a few shots here. Let's see if he found the window. That's a very well done shot there. That's now he's opened the rest of this table up with that one. He's actually got a couple of options here. He could go ahead and cut it in, let it go across a couple of rails. He could go ahead and bank it, just bank it with pocket speed. Likes to go ahead and cut that one in. Obviously puts a little bit of inside English on it. So now it's going to, sure, as much as he'd like to go to that top corner pocket, it's time to choose that side pocket. Mr. Dale Stanley joining us, and any of you that aren't usually on here on Saturday nights, and we hope you always are, may know that we do have a ring game that pops up shortly after this. Mr. Dale Stanley does like to join. And Phil, I can't believe you don't have him in this that matchup. It just seems like a player like Phil would be coming out here stealing from people like Dale Stanley and Evan On and Mr. Mubarak, who's going to be out here tonight. I think I've seen a couple of other names come across, and hopefully you'll be joining us afterwards for this. But for the moment, Mr. Ben Halsey finishes that rack off and moves himself up to being on the hill. Again, while he's racking this up, I do want to remind people that we are always looking for new faces. So please, by all means, get up with me if you want to match. I can always try to help set one up. Since I don't necessarily know like everybody's skill level or who they should be matched up against. It's typically easier for the players to do it themselves, but I'll be more than welcome to do what I can. Ben getting a lot of top English on that one as it forces itself forward. But at least the cue ball does make it out towards the middle. Doesn't pocket a ball. They both struggled a little bit whenever it comes to that break. I think it's a pretty important game to go ahead and get that first ball so you can try to control the table as much as you can. Jon taking a second look at that one, feeling like he needs a little bit lower. Is kind of shoots that one a little bit off. Looks like he might have had to bend that one around a little bit. Ben coming to the table. Whole lot of open stripes on this one, and doesn't have to do anything too special. Does need to make sure those balls making the pocket a little bit closer to the center, so it doesn't sit close but not quite. Ben trying to make his job a little more difficult on this one as he sneaks over there by that 3 wall. Gets an open shot where he's pointing now.
What?
Has to drive that one home, and not much luck. The way he shot that one, I don't believe he would have come out with too much of a shot, but now he's definitely left Mr. Jon coming back to the table. He has an open shot. Hits that one a little on the soft side, so he's going to be running it all the way back down the table where I believe he wanted that 1 ball next. I always like to kind of work from one end of the table, just kind of make a wave coming back across if possible, and whoever cuts that one just a hair, it's Ben. Back up again. So Ben was fortunate enough to be able to get one of his trouble balls out of there. Unfortunately, kind of ties it up a little bit, and so he's kind of playing the combo. And it's not necessarily a bet. I mean, it's not a gimme by any stretch of the imagination, but it's not a bad combo to play, because if he does make it, he's gonna be shooting one towards that other corner pocket, and just let that cue ball sort of roll up a little bit, and he might open up the entire table this way. Doesn't look like he's quite cutting that enough, and up a little bit short. Coming back to the table is Jon. Jon has a couple open shots. A shot by Jon, just not getting lucky on the rolls. Leaving a little bit of a long shot on that 2 ball, but very makeable shot. So it's definitely one of those you don't necessarily worry about where the cue ball's going. Just go ahead and roll that one in. Got a 3 ball that's sitting close, and he does pocket that one right in the center. So if he's got a shot on that 4 ball, I'm sure he'll take it, but other than it going all the way down in the corner, which may still not be a bad option, he's looking at that 3 ball. Kind of comes down to confidence there. If you're feeling confident about your stroke, maybe you take the 4 and try for the out. And if you're not, shoot for the 3, and a pretty strong stroke on that one ends up rattling. Ben with an opportunity once again. Kind of a one rail shot here, and see if you can't play that and just come back up table. And nicely done. Himself a little bit of an angle, but still has a few options. I don't think that 14 would be one of those options. But if he likes that one and a little low on the shot, then he can get himself into a position to get out on here. And that was the that was the biggest worry, that the reward was great. Do you have to make the shot on that one? Not exactly leaving Jon with the easiest of outs here, but I can just kind of slow roll this 4-ball on the side, or go ahead and lay that one in, let it come down to this bottom rail, just pushing forward. Now he's left Ben with a shot once again. Two different ways he can play this one, because that 8-ball actually looks like it may be in the way of it coming back up table, as opposed to a little inside English and possibly playing or going straight into it, as he's looking at now. I actually like that shot. He did a great job on that one, and I definitely did not see that one myself. Mr. Ben Halsey coming back to the table, and he's actually got an opportunity. He could play that 14 cross corner and send that cue ball up table. He wants to play a defense. Worked out for him well last time, and not a bad shot on that one this time. But now that 3-ball is a little further out, so it makes it a little bit easier shot. And Ben still with that opportunity to be able to just play that little inside and play 3 rails and come back up and around. See how he decides to play this. So has to try to play a little straighter back out, but I'm going to assume that the same way that he played these last couple, he might just go up and bump that top rail, just leave a really tough shot, and he can take a little bit more chances. I mean, he does have a 3-game lead and sitting on the hill, and comes off a little bit strong and leaving Jon an opening. Jon basically just has one little bit tougher shot here, and that's just pocket the 5-ball, and he really doesn't have to worry too much about what happens with the cue, as he's going to get a shot on one of a couple of different balls, and ends up with a bit of a nice roll. So again, it's one of those kind of, it's a makeable cut, but not necessarily an easy one. But when you're sitting on the hill and your opponent needs 4, part of me says you might want to go for this one. Because he's going to have 2 cuts that are probably a little bit on the tougher side. And it hits that one pretty hard. And I know he's trying to get all the way back up table. That's a whole lot to ask in a very small window to get it in. He did get it back up table most of the way. He's left Bill 2 more what looks like it's going to be difficult shots. And even with this one, if he plays this one with top English, it looks like he's just going to put it on the top rail. He's trying to cut. Let's see how this one comes out, and can't ask for a whole lot more than that, as he's definitely left himself a winning shot here.
It's jelly.
Right, as Ben goes ahead and finishes that one off.
Yeah.
And put him up here for his 10 and finishing that off. Great job to Mr. Ben Halsey. And nice matchup, Mr. Jon. And don't believe your second time is going to be quite as much of a shock to the system as how this was. And hope he'll join us again. Hope all of you will join us again. Again, we do have that ring game coming up here in a little bit. Watch out for your notifications. If you haven't already liked our page, by all means, please do. And we'll see you next time. Thanks again.
I had a run out there too, and I just fucking.
People's probably looking at us like, that's quite cool.
Dude, that doesn't bother me so much.
Yeah, no.
I don't mind.
All you got is